As it relates to the business.
Yeah, they were working on the building. So he had parked his truck there. My nephew was there and he said, "Somebody called him if he could park his truck here for a little while." I said, "Oh, he don't."
Okay. Buddy, you ready?
Sir.
Aaron? Okay, I'm going to call the Loudon County Commission meeting to order for March 4th, 2024. I've asked Commissioner Randolph to open the meeting.
Say the pledge first. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for the day that you have given us, Lord. Thank you for each and every one of these county commissioners that I have the privilege to serve with, Lord. God, please know that we are so grateful for your many blessings, Lord, and know that our ultimate goal is to help the people that are lost find you, Lord. God, please be with our fire and police, our EMTs, and all of our military, Lord. We ask this in your holy and precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Tammy, call the roll.
Randolph.
Here.
James.
Here.
Jenkins.
Here.
Quillen. Here. Satterfield.
Here.
Whitfield.
Here.
Cullen.
Here.
Morrison.
Here.
Shaver.
Here.
Waller.
Present.
Okay. Everybody's accounted for? Okay, next up is the adoption of the March 4th, 2024 County Commission agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, the agenda be approved as it's written. Second.
Who was the second? Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver to approve the agenda as written, seconded by Commissioner Jenkins. Any further conversation? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the reading and acceptance of the February 5th, 2024
Sorry.
Loudon County Commission minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, the minutes be approved that were sent to us ahead of time. We've all had an opportunity to read it.
Second.
Except Ms. Quillen.
Your name was misspelled in one of the places.
Oh my
Just
gosh,
wanna tell
Tammy.
you.
Oh,
Okay,
who was
I'll fix
second?
Jason.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver to approve the minutes, seconded by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion except for to change the spelling of Van's name? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. No one signed up for public comments. So next up is Jim Jenkins.
Commissioners, just merely trying to address, as we did before, discussing Grove at Cedar Hills, the developer would like to release so that we can complete issuance of permits for this development. So in discussion, there's some recommendations that were brought forward, some questions to be asked. At this time, he does not want to do either of those, as I understand, and I believe Mr. Cook's here if there's any questions for him. I will say this, I've been to the site as of today. When it comes to erosion and settlement, there's probably not any significant erosion or settlement issues at this time. There is still some work that has to be done as far as finished grade, finished stabilization of the property. And when I say stabilized, I'm talking about good vegetation growing. So there's areas just that's merely matted, no vegetation growing through. There's some areas where the silt fence is, and beyond the silt fence that has not been matted cedar straw yet. I know they may want to wait until they remove silt fencing to do that, but that is something that would have to be done. So, whether we elect to move forward or not, there is in our erosion and sediment standards, they are required for maintenance for 1 year after it's cut loose. So I'm of the opinion, you know, you gotta get established and vegetation growing even to get your SWIP cut loose. Well, until you can get to that point, get SWIP cut loose, we can't even start a 1 year period. 1 year after that, if there's problems with that location, no matter what they may be, if they have to come back and do maintenance on that, they're responsible for an additional year of maintenance to make sure that stabilizes and maintains.
Can I ask right while you're in that, cause I'll forget in a minute.
Yes, sir.
What's the mechanism that would entice a developer to come back and do anything once they're out and gone? And
I agree.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Call them up and say, hey, you're washing out, go back, come fix it, and they're gonna laugh at you.
I fully understand. So once the SWIP is released, then it's like, all right, we got a year, and a problem happens, then you're right. You're back to the county having to contact them saying, hey, there's a erosion settlement issue, there's a ditch created that's run out and washing out down across this property, the joining property. Then it is left our office to chase that, for lack of better words.
And define chase that.
Send out letters of notice to the developer that it's occurring, try to get a response, get action taken. If they don't take action, then we end up having to go through the county attorney's office.
Why is everyone looking at me?
It's your district.
There is work to be done still yet out there. It's not to a point of release of a SWIP, in my opinion. I don't release the SWIP, that'll be the state of Tennessee, but there's still work yet to be done to get it to that point. But until he gets his SWIP released, you know, he doesn't necessarily have to have it to that point. Or until he wants to get that release.
Who will inspect that property to determine if the SWIP's gonna be released or
The
not?
state of Tennessee.
So you don't have nothing to do with that?
I don't have anything to do with the release of the SWIP. You know, if I know there's an issue, obviously, and I know that a SWIP is being requested to be released, yeah, you know, I'd be more than happy to contact the inspector, say, you know, there's some concerns in this area. I think the state's primary purpose is to make sure when they release this SWIP, that they're not gonna have erosion and sediment occurring. You know, some questions that come up, you've gotta have, I think it's 80% coverage. To get that permit of stabilization, to get that permit released, so you might have some bare areas throughout the development, but on a sloping hillside of this nature, you wouldn't want bare areas, because obviously that's gonna cause erosion. I don't know that they would release that if they had the thought that there's gonna be a problem, but it is the state.
So what time frame are you looking at with all of that? Do we know?
We don't. I don't know that any applications even been made to have the SWIP release.
When was TDEC out there last and what was their thoughts on the site?
I don't know his last day of inspection. I do know that he is aware of that rear sloping area and has mentioned that some work has to be done to address that area. In speaking with the inspector.
Whatever Commissioner Waller decides, I'll support him. And I've got kind of two hats on this one. I sit behind this table, but I also own property 2,000 feet downstream from Mr. Cook's development. And since the day he broke ground up there, it's been an absolute disaster for the folks of us downstream from him. I've spoken directly to Mr. Cook about some of the issues, promised a lot of things, never happened. I've talked to TDEC, promised a lot of things, never happened. Jim can tell you, he and I have had many conversations about this. I don't know what happens up there. We all know in a year or two it's going to be a horrendous mess. There's no way around it. You can't get up on a hump like that and not expect water to run downhill. It's going to run downhill. So it sounds to me like he's refusing to do anything to protect his neighbors. He doesn't want to do it. That's what I'm understanding Jim say. Adam's taking it as far as Adam can take it. We can continue to hold the building permits until he fixes something. Under our statutes, we have very little authority to do that. It was my hope that Mr. Cook would do the right thing and protect his neighbors. Obviously, he has no interest in that whatsoever. I hope he never builds anything again in Loudon County, to be honest with you. Nowhere upstream from me anyway. But this is, Mr. Waller's choice, and whatever he wants to do, I'll support him.
They wanna release the lots, but we need to have some serious discussions about bonds for developers moving forward.
I agree, I think it needs to be on the next workshop.
Yeah.
Can we not put in place something that 2 years or a year from now, something happens, he doesn't fix it, that we deny him or that developer
We've done
any
that in the
building
past.
permits or anything?
I'll be the first one to ask for a stop order on any project in Loudon County because we doesn't fix this. So my motion is to release these 4 lots to be built. I want them gone. You got 1 year. We're gonna stay on you. It's gonna reset every time we have an issue.
There
Right,
will
Jim?
be issues.
Yes, sir.
I'll second his motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Waller to release the lots so that Mr. Cook can build on them, seconded by Commissioner Whitfield. Any further discussion? All in favor of releasing the permits? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you for all your work, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Bradshaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Only thing under my agenda, I do have something after we do this, is the juvenile van. We've had a juvenile van up at the juvenile center for years. It was used for a project that's no longer occurring in Loudon County. One of the reasons for this is that our senior citizen center is having tremendous success with people wanting to go on our different trips. Rather than buy a new one or rent one or whatever, this may be a chance to bring it down. It would be used for all county officers are eligible to use it. Talked with Purchasing Director Kleinschmidt today. We're gonna have a sign-out sheet, have some regulations, it comes back, checking the mileage and so forth. The 1957 Act County Commission, the way Loudon County is adopted, the county commission has the authority to appoint or, I guess, designate what property is where. So this would just be moving it from the juvenile van to a general county van will be staged at the county office.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion that the juvenile van be turned into a county all-purpose use and be kept at the county office building,
Hang on.
behind the building where we have all the extra new parking in there. How about that? That's my motion.
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Randolph.
Has anybody been up there yet to see it start?
Waiting on this vote.
Okay, in the morning, you and Kleinschmidt, get in your truck and run up there and get that van and bring it home. It's brand new. I mean, it's a super nice van.
Just sits there.
30-something thousand miles on it. I think Harrelson and them use it a couple times a year to haul their people to their national conference or something like that, so it'll be right there when they need it.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Shaver to move the van from the juvenile center to the county building so that all people can access it. Seconded by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Send Repo Joe and pick it up.
I've handed out, everybody should have one of these. Sent in the email, the state released it on Friday. 6 out of the last 7 years now, Loudon County has achieved a clean audit from the state comptroller's office. Amazing job by the folks that put the work in. I can't brag on them enough. This is all offices, all employees take a hand in this. Like I said, 6 out of 7, never been done in Loudon County before. Amazing job. And, our folks just, they go above and beyond. I'm super proud of them. I'm super blessed to be a part of the team.
It's a great job.
Starts the finance department.
And I have to say this, for Aaron's first half year, because it was equally shared with Tracy, congratulations.
Congratulations.
But remember, as he said, this is a collaboration of all the departments.
I understand.
But you have these emails, if you wanna see this, I got like the first 8 pages, but this is like a 115-page document. I never found it. Aaron showed me, you click on the email, you
Yeah.
click on this link to get to it.
And it's posted now, it's on
Yeah,
the state's
it's up there.
website now.
They released it Friday. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner James.
Thank you, Chairman. During the workshop, we talked about this resolution for Tennessee National. What they're wanting to do is add 182 additional boat slips to what they already are approved for. TVA told them they had to have a resolution from us, the city of Loudon, and anybody involved. They already had it permitted once. TVA said it was messed up, so they've asked them to restart, and this is a restart.
Is that in form of motion?
Not yet, I've just.
So how many are they approved for and how many more are they asking?
299 they're approved for.
Already?
And they're wanting 182 more.
A lot of votes.
Wow.
Yeah,
A lot of votes.
it's a lot of houses out there.
Oh, no doubt.
That's on the main channel too, isn't it?
No,
It's on the other side of the
not?
lot.
no,
I thought
no,
it was
it's,
on the main
and
channel.
also if, in the paperwork in there, they're wanting to rebuild the 2 islands that's right there to kind of close it more from the channel. So,
Who's gonna pay for that?
Tennessee National.
Dang.
Okay.
So I make a motion, we approve this resolution.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor from Commissioner James to approve the request for Tennessee National to add the additional boat docks, seconded by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Got lots of votes. Commissioner Cullen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're back again with the interlocal agreement for the Fire Safety Training Center. Little background, of course, we've all had a chance with $500,000 to donate it, use it in our districts. Commissioner Jenkins and myself chose to put $1 million toward the Fire Safety Training Center. We wanted to choose a project that the taxpayers could see where our money goes. And this is an endeavor that will be here for many, many years to come. As you know, it will be for all law enforcement in the county, all firemen, all first responders. This, to my knowledge, will be the first training center we've ever had in Loudon County. And we're ecstatic about getting to contribute to that. It's been a big collaboration with many people involved at the mayors at Lenore, Tony Akins at Lenore City, Jeff Harris at Loudon, and County Mayor Bradshaw, William and myself, and the fire chiefs, the police chiefs, the sheriff. We've all collaborated and came up with a great plan that will help keep all of our safety people safe with training, and which will keep our community safer. So we presented this interlocal agreement at the workshop, and there were some questions about different parts of it. So we went back, met again. Like I said, there's been a lot of effort put into this. So something that we did change in it, I'll tell you the few things that we did change, and I hope you all had a chance to look it over.
We haven't seen the revised edition.
It's not been, it was in the pack, right?
Whatever I was sent was
Yeah.
what
I would have assumed it was the same one we had at the workshop.
No,
Okay.
no, it's the new one. But I will tell you the changes. The facility construction cost, we have put in there, should the cost of constructing the facility exceed the facility cost of the 3 entities at Lenore City shall be solely responsible for any and all excess cost of construction. The operating costs, Lenore City will be responsible for, and they will incur all operating costs. They will also be solely responsible for maintenance and repairs. So I think in the one that was presented at the workshop, there was, I think, repairs over 15,000. So we've taken that out. There is a termination clause that if any entity wants to withdraw from this agreement, they can. There's no penalty, but you won't get your investment from up front back. Otherwise, we think this is a very clean agreement, is from what I would call it. I mean, in real estate, we have a clean contract, it's easy. And we think this, this is a no-brainer with everything that we've got in here. But like I said, we are doing this for, the safety of our law enforcement, firemen, and first responders. That's what this is all about. And, with that being said, I mean, I'll make a motion to, approve this interlocal agreement for the public safety training facility.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Quillen to approve the interlocal agreement, seconded by Commissioner Jenkins. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna put my nicest voice on tonight and talk as easy as I know how to talk, but I've had a conversation with Ms. Quillen at the last meeting. I actually had a conversation with Chief White and Chief Martin back there about this particular thing. I support your all's desire to give that $1 million to the city 100%. We made the agreement up here when we did this. Each commissioner could do what they wanted to within the legal bounds in their districts. So I support it 100%. I have no problem with the money. What I do have a problem with is the same thing we discussed at the workshop. Last year, Walter Johnson clearly, emphatically, over and over and over at the meeting many of us were at, said these interlocal agreements cannot be bound from one council to the next. That whatever this council would approve an interlocal agreement, the next council does not have to abide by it. He said it. So I had asked for something from Councilman, lawyer, attorney Johnson on a piece of paper, and Bob Bowman, it would have been nice if we'd had them both sign a piece of paper that says, yes, this interlocal agreement is binding on all parties until such time one party withdraws. And I've not had a chance to talk to Rosemary. I'm gonna assume you probably didn't get anything like that from anybody.
All I know is that our county attorney agrees with this.
Mhm.
He's been in on this from the start with Lenore City, and there's not been any kind of problem with us going forward with this.
I'm gonna ask the indulgence of the commission for about a 2-minute video, because I want everybody to understand where I'm coming from. We have already seen, I won't even call them names, we've already seen the city renege on a number of agreements. Most recently, they've stopped paying 911. So to think it couldn't happen again, my interest is to protect our investment. That's my only interest. I'm totally okay with you all sending the money. But we have to know that in a year from now, if somebody gets their feelings hurt, or if somebody gets their toes stepped on, or they don't like something, they don't just send us a little letter and say, Loudon County, you're out. And according to Mr. Johnson, that's exactly what they can do based on what he has said in the past.
Well, I guess to my understanding, this is the agreement that is used between entities within a county.
Well, we have an interlocal agreement with the EDA that's been enforced since 2007. And been my understanding all these years that it's absolutely enforced and we're bound by it. But I will say again, can we? Just take a minute, we'll just watch this.
And I'm not an attorney, but I respect
Well, he is.
the attorneys that are on our end down here.
Well, let me tell you in a nutshell, I'll try to be, I can't find that agreement isn't enforceable. The first thing is, the statute for annexations changed in 2015. Which really, when you talk about this land grab that we heard about, it's impossible now under the statute because all annexations have to be by request. They're gonna have to come and ask you to do it. So that doesn't, and this bogeyman of Lenore City's gonna go out, or Loudon City, or Philadelphia, Green Baptist, gonna go out and take up all this land, that ain't gonna happen, they can't. But the statute that governed that agreement at the time has been changed substantially so that it's done operative in our case. The next thing is,
Here it is.
it's against public policy to enforce it. What? Public policy. Okay. see what that means. What we say is, Mayor Brookshire, in 2005, when he entered into that agreement approved by city council, was an executive and a legislative branch of the North City government in 2005. Now, Loudon County's position is that that is going to tie the hands of Mayor Akins and this city council of the North City in 2023, 18 years later, and theoretically would bind the North City forever. That does not work. It violates public policy. What do you mean? A legislative group cannot, in our opinion, again, so I guess it would be side two, for those who don't think there's one side. We're talking about side two now, and members in the back. Enforced is a legislature in 2005 cannot bind a future legislature. Think about it. Now, how would that work? Well, let's say you have a political disagreement. You lose the election. You got a whole new group coming in, and you disagree with what they're getting ready to do. What do? Get a contract with another legislature that agrees with you? You sign that up so that they can't do what they campaigned on doing? What the elected members of city council were to do? They run for election. They promise to represent the people of the North City. That contract violates public policy. Now, if you think, well, that's ridiculous. Well, let me tell you something. There's a lot of things that violate public policy. Right? We know that in contracts of adhesion violate public policy. They're not enforced. We know that penalty clauses in contracts are not enforced. Liquidated damages are, but penalty clauses are not. This violates public, and by the way, gambling contracts in Tennessee are enforced too. This violates public policy. It's out. The next thing is, and pretty easy here, they've abandoned it.
We've covered the parking matter.
They've abandoned the contract.
I guess I'm not privy to this situation here. I mean, he's talking about something with Mayor Brookshire back
Okay.
in 2005.
Take that completely
But I
out
mean,
of it.
that's what we've seen, and I don't know what that has to do with what we're doing tonight.
If you listen beyond the 2005, he is saying public policy prohibits one legislative council from binding the next legislative council to an interlocal agreement. That's what he said. Repeatedly. He says it more, but I've heard all I can listen to.
Okay, can we change this in to say interlocal contract?
No. He's gonna say anything that this city council
Then how
adopts.
do we get past this?
He signs a document.
I think, but we have both attorneys sign this saying it's a binding agreement.
That would solve everything right there. Both of them will sign, if Walter and Bob Bowen will both sign and say, this contract is binding upon all parties until such party withdraws.
Well, we have been told by our council
I understand.
that we're good to go with this.
I
And
understand
I'm
what
not an attorney, and I can't question.
Is there a problem with getting Walter to sign off on
What
it?
would be the harm in getting both of them
I
to
don't
sign
know.
the thing?
I mean,
I'm all for
that's
it.
beyond my scope.
Me too. Let's just ask for both attorneys to
But
sign.
this is one of them things we've not asked everybody else, when you're spending your money you
We
gotta
didn't
get
give any
something.
money to another entity like this. Nobody's
We don't
done
have
You
this.
give it to somebody that was wanting a parking lot repaved.
But we
How
didn't
did
have-
that
we didn't have to
affect,
have an
how did that
interlocal agreement.
affect your constituents and
I don't even know what that means, William.
it didn't do nothing for anybody else, all it did was help out one person.
Keep talking, that's good. This is $1 million that we're investing into their program, and I support it
And
100%.
it's something that every one of these guys, they're able to work together. You're not able to work with Lenore City, and Lenore City obviously can't work with you. And it's because you have a problem with our council and our city mayor.
Done?
Well, I mean, I kinda disagree with that. I mean, well, I'm not gonna get in the middle of that politics, but I don't disagree. I support this program 500%. The only issue that has been brought up is, I don't know what the harm is to have both attorneys sign that says that this is bound. It protects the county, it
Have
protects
they
Lenore
ever
City.
done that before? In
We've
an
never
interlocal
done
agreement?
anything like
We've never
this.
done anything like this. I can tell you when I paved Fort Creek Road, right down there, and it was inside the city limits of Philadelphia, that Bob Bowman and the city of Philadelphia's mayor, or their council, both signed an agreement that says that once this is complete, that the city of Philadelphia still owns that road. Because I couldn't pave a city street. It was illegal. So we had to put it in our system. They had to go through the attorney stuff to make that thing legal. So that's why it took so long just to be able to pave 3/4 of a mile of Fort Creek Road.
So do I need to offer an amendment that we ask both attorneys to sign saying it's binding beyond November?
I guess what my concern is, we're in March and we've got to get our money obligated
So-
or we lose it. And this is just like kicking the can down the road over and over and over. And I can see this not going anywhere.
So what if we do this? I'm gonna throw this idea out. What if we approve your $1 million contingent upon both parties signing? You can have it signed tomorrow.
Well, from the interlocal agreement is between 3 entities, correct? Lenore City, Loudon, and Loudon County.
Yes.
And the money has been pledged from everybody, so to
So
me,
you have 3 attorneys.
Yeah.
You have the 3 attorneys sign it
well,
tomorrow.
we've been told that we are good to go with this. So I guess we start, second guessing our attorneys now. I mean, I
Oh,
don't,
gosh, yes, all the time.
I'm not an attorney. I mean, when he says this agreement is good, then I trust that.
Mr. Chairman, Jimmy Davis, I don't know who he is, he thinks he's a sheriff or something like that. He's got his hand up there.
I'd just like to add.
On the law side of it, I don't know what attorney signatures would do to change it. If the law says it can't be enforced, an attorney's signature is not going to change that, in my opinion. You just have to go on good faith. I know good faith has burned us several times down the road, but this training facility, if looking at it from the county aspect, the county sheriff's office has 3 times the officers of Lenore City that are going to use that training. I'm getting ready to start my 25th Citizens Academy, and still how embarrassing it is, I have to go to another county to train, to show, well, they said, every one of them, you don't have your own training facility, you don't have anywhere you can know? No, we don't. We have one at the firing range, we don't have a driving track, we don't have any of that. For the sheriff's office, that has 126 full-time employees. I don't know what an attorney's signature will do, but it's very needed for us to be able to train within our county. If you're a victim of a fire, you understand how important it is your fire apparatus is to have stay inside the county. We've lost 3 officers in the line of duty, one by gunfire, one by driving, in the last month in East Tennessee. I'm not trying to put on heartstrings, but training helps that. We'll be able to train a lot more often, a lot more efficiently, if we can just drive to Lenore City 4 miles away and do our gun training and our firearms training, and our driving training. So I don't know what a signature would help. We have worked with interlocal agreements every day. So if you talk about use, I think that Lenore City is doing a great thing by taking on the maintenance of that, even if it's for this council session, because we're going to use it 3 or 4 more times than the Lenore City Police Department is, I guarantee you. So from the county aspect, I would appreciate y'all sending forward.
I like Gary, and I think it shows good faith from the Lenore City legal side, because they're trying to burn us with interlocal agreements on the annexation, so I think it's, like Gary says, is yours in form of a motion?
Mine was in form of an idea to get an opinion.
I want to be clear with Jimmy and everybody else. Everybody behind this table supports this. Everybody, I'll guarantee you to the person. And the reason we support it is because we want you to have access to this, and we don't want to look up in here in a year, or 2, or 5, or 18, as he said, and all of a sudden find out, well, sorry, you've been cut off. We're trying to protect our investment and your ability to go here. We're all for this, but the paperwork's going to matter. What difference would it make if an attorney signs off? I think it would give several of us more confidence that the attorney who said it's no good signs off and says it is good.
State law already says it's no good, right?
That's what he said.
What's an attorney's signature gonna do?
Maybe he changed his mind
Is
since then.
Bobby Johnson
He said,
an
he said in
attorney?
his opinion.
What?
Is Bobby Johnson an attorney? So what he was spouting was just according to Bobby
Walter.
Johnson?
No, that was.
Walter Johnson.
That's the city
He's the
attorney.
city
Yeah, no, he's the city attorney.
That goes as
attorney?
far, that doesn't mean anything until there's a piece of paper with the judge's signature on it as far as
Absolutely.
declaring what is and what isn't. And just to,
I mean, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do here.
Put an amendment on it that it's contingent on getting the two signatures of the two county and city attorney and Loudon if they wanna sign it. They probably wanna protect themselves as much as anybody else.
That can be done tomorrow.
let me ask, the interlocal agreement that we beat to death over the years with the,
EDA?
EDA, you know, things we want to do, and they said, well, we have an interlocal agreement, you can't do that, you can't do that. So it seems to be pretty binding
It's
to
pretty
me.
binding, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems to be a flexible binding. Sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't, depending on the circumstance.
There's been at least 10 of these revamps back and forth. And I think all three attorneys have subbed in and chimed in and everything else. I mean, it's been rehashed.
It's being
And
rehashed.
where it's at, everybody agreed that they were good with.
I mean,
So
we,
this is the last one Bob sent back to us?
yes,
And said
Yes.
we're good.
So if Bob said it's good, Bob would sign it. So what's the problem?
I don't see what the downside is. Nothing's held up, nothing slows
do
down.
attorneys usually sign these agreements? Or is it the first time this has happened?
Well, they signed one
Because
with-
there's some
they
kind of
signed one with
mistrust,
Gary
Because of a mistrust.
because of mistrust.
The attorney signed my agreement for Philadelphia. That's all I can speak to.
I guess we know how hard everybody's worked on this and how hard everybody, how excited they are and how needed it is. And I guess to have some mistrust, we don't have that. We're all on the same page. We know what benefit this is gonna provide to our law enforcement and first responders and firemen. And it's gonna be here for years to come. It's not gonna be something that is temporary. And I guess when, I trust our legal counsel, I trust this agreement, and I guess it's hard for me to sit here because there's some kind of mistrust from a statement somebody made from something back in 2005. He's not said it about this, I didn't hear
He
that.
said it about this and all
He
interlocal
said it about
agreements.
this?
All interlocal
He
agreements.
didn't say it about this.
Not worth the paper it's written
Maybe
on.
that one
I was
was.
there at that time.
What if we amend the contract to say the first time our persons are denied Lenore City refunds are $1 million? Then,
I don't think anybody will be denied. I
don't
can't
either.
imagine that happening.
I
Because
mean, I don't
all,
think that
because
either.
all of our entities work hand in hand, and I don't think anybody will be denied. I mean, I can't
And
even
Lenore City
imagine
even
that.
agreed to take on all maintenance costs.
Well, it's their billing as they should.
It
All
would've
you're
been
doing is
all
donating
three of
money
us.
to it.
It would have been all three entities.
No, we don't own it. County has no ownership in it. Loudon City has no ownership in it.
I
It's
say
the
we
city
call
bills.
Judge Judy.
Here's the issue. There's no way I'm against that. Heck, it's my family's business, going back through history. Public safety. But I gotta tell you, that was a telling comment on that screen. When the
Out of
city
context.
attorney says
It's out of context.
it's not valid because Mayor Brookshaw is no longer here.
That
But
was-
he'll be gone, we'll all be gone, who knows? That's a telling
Just a
statement.
quick question. What would be the downside if we approve it pending the signature of the three attorneys? What's the downside? Why
Nothing.
were we afraid to ask them to sign a
I'm
document?
not afraid. I'm
Well,
just
it's
saying,
what-
this is what they have submitted, and it looks really good to me. I mean, it's a clean agreement, so I don't understand why we just can't move forward. I mean,
Get the signature and it's
why
done.
didn't they do that before they gave it to us, if they thought it needed
Couldn't
it?
tell you. I
Well,
guess
I
they
don't-
hadn't seen this little ditty.
Well, that's out of context.
I was there. It wasn't out of
Well,
context.
it may be in context for that situation, but we're talking about the training facility
That's the city attorney.
in that situation. I mean,
And he's
that's,
still there, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll offer an amendment to their motion.
Go ahead.
That this be approved exactly as it's written, contingent on the three attorneys signing off on something, signing a document saying this agreement is binding on all parties until such time they execute the withdrawal portion of the contract. I'll make that amendment.
I was thinking that.
Okay, we got a motion to amend it by Commissioner Shaver to include the 3 attorneys' signatures, seconded by Commissioner Waller. Any discussion on the amendment?
With that, like I said, I'm not an attorney either, but, because we're getting an attorney to sign it, his signature, I could sign it, and I don't think it'd mean any more to the judge than if the attorney signed it. As far as just having a signature on the paper.
I think what we're hunting, Walter Johnson's signature, the man that says the interlocal agreement can't be bound
I mean,
on the next committee.
I'm like Jimmy.
So you want him to
It probably don't
contradict
matter.
what he said? I mean, I don't know where this
Yes.
is going.
I mean, why would you say one thing, this document not binding, this one is? You can't have your cake and eat it too, even as an attorney.
Well, that's, like I said, that's a whole different situation. I don't know. I just know what I have before me.
So here's my dilemma with this whole thing. And I mentioned maybe putting it off for 30 days, and I know you're afraid you're gonna lose your money, and I'm not about that. I don't want you to lose your money at all. I am for this project 500%. I am. My job sitting in my chair is to protect the citizens of Loudon County, and it's their $1 million. So I'm trying to help me come up with a solution that protects those citizens but gets you what you want. That's all I'm looking for.
If
To
we
me,
do,
this is good enough. This is good enough
I
for
would,
me.
I'd say, you can't, I just say we would like your signature, and if they don't, then we're gonna go ahead and do it, whether they sign it or not. I mean, I'm not, and the thing about it is, I can't look at it like this. I know there's, when it comes to ethics and scruples and stuff, some people don't have any qualms about some of the actions they do, but I can't imagine a governmental entity withdrawing this service because it's a public safety
I don't think that's gonna
concern.
happen.
I think it would be a PR nightmare if somebody said, well, we're not gonna let the county, employees use this anymore. I can't see that happening. For me, I just say, I'd ask the attorneys, will you sign it? If they say yes, have them sign it. If they say no, I'm not gonna let one attorney not signing it, keep it from happening.
I'd say he won't sign it because he says no good anyway. But
You're
as long
probably
as,
Chief is gonna make a comment.
I would point out while he's coming to the podium, the city's already cut off funding the 911. That's public safety.
Yeah.
they pay county
I mean, I don't know how you differentiate public safety here and there. Go on.
One quick comment, I think you all are at a disadvantage of, Buddy and I and Rosemary were in the email threads of all this back and forth, and there are a string of them, it's very long. And the attorneys are in those email threads, saying this is the document that they agree with. So you all don't have that information in front of you that you can see where these attorneys have been going back and forth with this document. But they are all in agreement with the document that is in front of you right now.
So Mr. Walters is on that email thread
Yes.
saying this is all good and he agrees with it. I mean,
But I'm not.
Well, but it
opposed
is
to
good
your
today.
signature
but
either,
it's,
so-
but that, I mean. it's
But
on an
according to
email.
him, in November, after the council changes, they're not bound by it. That's what the man said.
But I don't know if that changes with his signature. I mean.
I don't know either,
if he's
but at
on
least
it-
it's something else.
But if he's on the email thread, he might as well sign it. I mean, you have an email.
I wouldn't be on an email thread saying that I was supportive of something and not willing to sign it
You can
also.
always call that.
We're kind of there.
Curtis, Baldwin, Johnson,
let's
and
just do
Fry
it.
we're all a part of the thread.
I think I'm gonna withdraw my motion.
All roll.
Can I withdraw my motion?
I'll withdraw my second.
So what's your solution then?
I will go back to Lenore City and see what else we can work out, because this, I don't think is, if they don't sign something, then this is going nowhere. And it's a shame that we can't have trust in the people that have worked so hard putting this agreement together.
It's a shame that we're not able to back every one of these
That's-
guys that's out here in their departments.
This is, yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for words right now. Because I feel like this is just gonna get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And, maybe there's a different route that we can take with Lenore City that we won't even have to have this agreement. Maybe they wanna handle it a different way. I don't know. What do you think?
If I could say something,
If
rather
you're
than go
withdrawn,
back,
I'll withdraw my amendment, but I'll make another motion. I'll make a motion, we approve it with the signature.
Second?
and now you got a motion.
It needs to be done.
So
Well,
what if they don't feel like they need to sign it? Then
Well,
then
they're
we're
already on
done? We can't have it?
What don't mean that?
Then that means I'll make an amendment that if they don't all sign it, that it passes anyway.
Have at it.
Okay, now we got one that says sign it.
I think you're moving forward. If they don't
Doesn't
sign
feel like
it, then it comes back and we just,
It doesn't feel like we're moving forward at all.
Christian, what's your amendment? What was the amendment?
That if all lawyers do not sign it, it will pass and move forward anyway.
Was there a second for Commissioner Jenkins?
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Jenkins that it goes
we're just
forward.
going in a circle.
No, we're gonna get there, but I have got to follow up at this point and ask. Why are you all so hesitant? I won't use the word afraid. Why are you afraid just to ask the lawyers to sign? Do we already know that possibly one of them won't?
I
mean,
I've
there's-
not
Don't
spoke
know.
with him.
We don't know. I mean,
I can't imagine. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
If they were all involved in it, they should have no problem signing it.
Well, it's good from now to November. I mean, we know that.
Okay, so the motion from Commissioner Jenkins is to,
His amendment.
his amendment is to approve it.
That we move forward even if all three lawyers do not sign it.
But those amendments canceled each other out. It's
Yeah.
not-
Well, no, we have to vote and see if his amendment is,
It's not added
Yeah.
yet. If we don't add the amendment, then the original motion will be on up for the next vote.
Right. Okay, and it was seconded by Commissioner Quillen.
We got two amendments that we're looking at
No.
right now?
Just one up front, you gotta do that first. Any further discussion on the motion on the floor?
Henry, this is one of those times when you want to explain real clear. The amendment is to basically approve the interlocal agreement whether the lawyers sign
Sign
it
or
or not.
not?
The original motion is it moves forward
When they
pending
sign.
the attorney's signatures. So the first thing we're voting on is whether or not it goes through without any attorney signatures.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by,
Better call roll on this, Mr.
yeah,
Chairman.
we'll call that one. Yeah, I'm debating that, even though
Yeah,
we're not voting on money, it's gonna be money in the end.
So yes is approving the interlocal agreement.
no, yes is approving the amendment that it doesn't have to have any signatures on this one.
Okay,
Ready?
call the roll, Tammy.
James,
No.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen,
I'm voting yes as written.
Satterfield,
Yes.
Whitfield,
no.
Cohen,
I'll vote no, I want the signatures.
Morrison,
No.
Shaver,
No.
Waller,
no.
Randolph.
No.
Motion fails.
Call the roll on the original motion.
And that's to approve with the signatures.
Correct.
Is it approved contingent?
Mhm.
So what is it now?
Approved contingent with signatures
Of the three attorneys.
of the three attorneys.
And if they do not, then we're not.
Then
We're
we're
back to
spinning
square
our
one.
wheels.
Yep.
Yeah, we're stuck.
I don't see why they won't.
Why wouldn't they?
Could be against state law.
They're all
Yeah.
involved?
They don't sign.
Well, I'm not really sure I understand what, because normally lawyers don't sign contractual agreements. They would approve that through the work of the entities that are that they're working for, and then we, as the three entities, would sign based on their approving the contract. So I don't know what you're wanting them to say. Are you just asking them to sign, what is the document?
The
that they're supposed
document
to
would
sign?
say that this interlocal agreement is binding on all parties until such time they execute the withdrawal option.
Or to rescind.
Attorney doesn't have authority to do that.
But they can sign a piece of paper that says it's legit.
I don't know that they'll,
Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. So if you don't think it's legal for the attorneys,
I don't know how enforceable or binding it would be.
Chief has said that it's on the email threads. If all the mayors sign it, are we gonna have the same issue? If all three mayors sign it, saying exactly what you said?
I think they all would have to sign it sooner or later anyhow, it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
But then,
All three of the mayors sign it.
But we'd have all the email threads, we'd have all three mayors' signatures. I mean, I think you cover yourself.
and if I could just say, so I
Come
agree
on.
with Commissioner Satterfield. I think at the end of the day, and I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, let's say that let's say that the lawyers do sign a document, and Lenore City changes and we say you can't use it any more than 10 years. The lawyers aren't gonna put their name on, I mean, you're gonna go after the lawyers then? I mean, I think that, I agree with Commissioner Satterfield, that, they prepared the contract for us to review, and they checked off and said that it's good to go. And then it'll be up to a judge. Like, let's say that we pulled out, then it'll be up to a judge at the end of the day, whether it's 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. And anything that's broken that was under a contract, whether it's a real estate contract or an interlocal agreement, at that point in time, we would have to have a judge review, and then you bring your evidence to court to show those emails and the contract. And so it really, I don't think that a signature on a piece of paper by three lawyers is gonna change anything at the end of the day. That's just.
You don't think that'd speak stronger at a court hearing?
Excuse me?
You don't think that would speak pretty strong if it ever went to court, when I'm dead and gone, you're dead and gone? Yeah, look here, they, judge,
Well,
attorney signed it.
I think you just keep all the correspondence that occurred before this, and whatever file this goes in, they go in with it. So they're at
Well,
least,
then can we
there's a
just, so
record,
let's,
but there's, I don't know what to say.
Go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
why don't the three attorneys just email each other, say, yep, this is binding beyond, does it address this as binding beyond the change of
That's the
commissions?
issue.
That's the issue.
But I think they've done that. They've done that in an email thread saying that they all agree.
If they
Read me the email where
You
it
won't have
says,
an
read
email
me an
that
email where it
says,
says,
"This is good
this
beyond
is good
November."
beyond November.
You're not gonna have that.
You won't get that assurance, I don't think.
That's what I'm looking for $1 million.
Well, the law's written wrong. The law's written, you can't hold an attorney, because then your firms become liable.
That's why they have insurance.
You don't have a firm, you work for it. Just, let's call the roll and see if we can get done here. We can beat this one to death.
Yeah.
So this one is a motion to approve the contract with the three signatures of the attorneys.
Correct.
I don't know if that's gonna be.
No, I don't either.
What was the question?
I could sign it, and it'd have as much weight as one of the attorneys
Exactly.
signing it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think attorneys
I do
should
what-
carry a lot more weight.
What if Walter Johnson leaves tomorrow?
It's not worth anything.
It's not worth it.
Exactly. His signature's not worth anything.
What if he don't leave tomorrow?
Well, we can what ifs to death.
It's gonna be chicken
That's
little.
what we've done for the last 30 minutes.
But the binding contract that you all will be signing, Mayor Bradshaw would execute, that you all voted on.
Yep.
Mayor Akins would be signing that city council had voted on. Then Mayor Harris would be voting on that city of Loudon. That's your binding contract.
Well, the city council agreed to pay $10,000 to 911, and the mayor said, no, thank you. So,
I can tell you why that is, because city residents pay county taxes.
No,
Just
it's
like
caused the ongoing litigation between Lenore City and Van Shaver is what he put in the letter,
No.
which is not true.
City residents pay city county taxes as well. They pay
Not for city services though.
Okay.
Not what you want.
What y'all wanna do? I don't really care. I wanna get this done.
I wanna get this done.
We've got to have
No
some
contention.
protection for Loudon County. The evidence is overwhelming that if the push comes to shove, we come the short end of it every time by millions of dollars
Well,
or by jurisdiction.
another thing is, we don't know that we've been hurt by what he said. We haven't went to court over it yet. That's what I'm looking for. Judge looks at him and says, you're wrong. They're legally binding until another commission council changes it. They're binding. To me, if, I hate to go presidents, but if a president, when he's new, don't like something, he gets rid of it. Well, that's our job and their job. If they don't like an interlocal agreement, when they come in, they change it.
There's an out right there in it. We've got to opt out for all three parties can opt out. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I think the point's been made. The historical nature of this has been made. We have taken it in the shaft so many times from Lenore City, just in the last 2 or 3 years. William, ain't nothing personal here. My job's to protect the Loudon County taxpayers. I could care less what Lenore City does. Please take that out of your vocabulary. I've seen it happen from Simpson Road, Harrison Road, 911, reappraisals. He gonna pay for his reappraisals cause he's mad. AFT documents, I'll just hold them up if you don't do what I want. The reappraisal, I think I said that one. We've seen this movie over and over and over, but apparently we learn slow. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna withdraw my motion,
I'll draw a second.
and I'm gonna make a motion, we approve their $1 million. Right now, no signatures, no anything. When we're dead and gone, if you are still doing this, and these tells you one day, God, I'm mad at Henry Cullen, y'all can't come back, I don't wanna hear everybody crying. Cause it can happen, and it will happen if something goes wrong you don't like. I'll make the motion, we approve it just like it's written, with no guarantees, no backstops of any kind.
I'll second.
Who seconded it? Okay, we got a motion to approve the interlocal agreement and the agreement as written by Commissioner Shaver, seconded by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion?
This has to be spent by the end of 2026
Yeah, they've got rules
or
on
by
that.
2026.
December this year.
No,
We gotta be in the contract by December of this
It's a 3-year
year,
drawdown.
But when does it have to all be spent by?
by December 26.
You're good, chief?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Well, hang on.
You okay?
If there's the agreement, it can go beyond 26, can it?
No.
I thought we got 2-year extension.
Yes, the interlocal agreement has to be in place by December 31st, 2024.
Okay.
That obligates the funds. And then they get 2 additional years to spend the funds, but it has to be spent by us. By us to Lenore City.
Okay.
And it was by the original bind that we had where we said we'd do it in
Correct.
Third.
Oh, yeah, we've still got that in place.
Now, keep in mind, the 26th deadline is December, not January.
But all three of the attorneys for Loudon, Lenore City, and Loudon County worked on this.
I
All
can
three
say,
of
I'll
them,
be happy to send Commissioner the thread if y'all want.
all three of them have,
We're gonna do it tonight. We're gonna get her done.
No, it,
well, I'm just
Just
saying,
remember-
I'm just saying, there's your backstop that they have.
After you're dead and
committed.
gone,
It started out about like this, and now we've got, what, Rosemary, 4 pages worth?
Oh, at least. It's been a journey, trying to get it all.
Well, and
sorted
Rosemary's
out.
worked hard on it, so thank you.
She worked hard on a lot of things for us. Right?
okay, we
I'm
got
not
a
a slow
motion on the floor to approve the interlocal agreement for the construction of the safety training facility, seconded by Commissioner Randolph. Tammy, call the roll.
Jenkins,
yes.
Quillen,
Yes,
Satterfield,
Yes,
Whitfield,
Yes.
Cullen,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
thank you, thank you.
Done.
Now, when do you break ground?
So, just give you just a little bit of an update. So we're still, we're about probably 2 months off the initial, timeline. But everything's in place. We've just kind of been holding up, waiting to get to this point where we can get the signatures from the 3 entities. The piece that's gonna take the longest is the fire training portion. There's a 9-month to 12-month, lead time, but we are prepared to issue a PO and get that underway. It's a sole source, bid, so that will be very easy. There's only 4 major range manufacturers that should bid for the job. As soon as we get, we'll probably send the bid specs out in the next 2 weeks, get that back. As soon as we get that back, we can start doing our slab design, based on weight load, and then we will, everything will start at that point. Hopefully be pouring concrete by the end of April, 1st of May, and the lead time for the red iron and the range itself is about 4 months. So we should be late summer, under roof and installing the equipment inside. So by the end of the year, for the range and training center, and then the fire could be, this time next year.
Chief Martin and Chief White and I had a conversation. I think this would be good. Tell them the breakdown on the money, your estimated cost now. What's your estimated cost on it?
So it's went up a little bit, as you know, we've been on this thing now for a year. So we know we've got 2.45 allocated that we've got in the hopper right now. So it's probably gonna bump above that, just because we've upgraded the fire, from my original presentation to you guys. We were looking at a $200,000 fire training tower. And after meeting with all the fire chiefs around the county in both cities, it was their wish to actually do a fire training simulator setup where we've got live burn boxes. So it's basically will be manufactured out of Connex boxes. It'll be a 3-story system, very impressive. It's probably very similar to what is at the Fire Academy in Bell Buckle. We'll be probably one of only very few counties, at least in this region, that will have a facility that nice. So that price increased up to over $600,000. So we're gonna be about $400,000 over budget. But after talking to city council about it, they felt very strongly that they would cover the additional cost just because of the importance of it. The fire training tower that we presented did not have a live burn capability. It was just a skeletal structure that was 3 stories. So this will certainly enable all of our fire departments, both cities and all of our volunteer service firefighters, to have a better training facility overall. So that did bump it up. So we're probably gonna be in the 2.75 at the end of the day.
And right now, it's $1 million coming from the county. Is it 250 from Loudon?
That's what we requested.
250, is that right, Bill? And then whatever the balance is, that's,
250 from Loudon.
so the balance then, Little She's picking up the rest of it.
That's correct.
Will, this facility be open for other counties or other entities outside Loudon County to use?
We will certainly work with this. We've been so fortunate for the last 30 years, like the sheriff said, and as well as the fire chiefs. We've had to rely on other counties to save us because it's required by the state that we get so many hours of training each and every year. And so we've used the city of Alcoa, we've used Blount County Sheriff's Department, we've used the Central Training Facility for the Department of Energy, we've used the city of Knoxville through the years. And so finally, it'll be our turn to get back, so we will certainly work with our neighboring
Now, is
departments.
this a service did you all have to pay for using the facilities for that, or is it
They have been so gracious and they've never charged us.
so it's a?
And Alcoa, one in Alcoa.
Alcoa, every agency they've never charged us. And that's 30 years we've been, well, that's as long as I've been around and we've been.
Will Commissioner and the Mayor's Office get a range day out of this?
Well, I'd say that the sheriff will let you go through any portion of the Citizens Academy anytime you want to stop.
I think they've got a couple of tubs of,
Therapy than a little.
they've got a couple of tubs of water balloons they're gonna let us throw at each other.
Okay. To the 3 of you, thank you for your effort.
Thank you.
Well done.
Everybody happy now? Everybody happy?
Okay. Aaron, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Letter A is consideration of recommendation for additional funding at the courthouse. It was pointed out to me earlier that this seems a little redundant because it's on here twice. I just want to mention the reason why. It's on here twice because the first one is an appropriation, the second one is to approve the resolution. okay? Just so that everybody's clear.
2 readings.
So the
Dotting
first
that
one,
last I, right?
I'm sorry.
Dotting that last I and crossing that T,
That's right. We gotta make sure and do both.
yeah.
So the first one is to approve the additional appropriation of $323,975 for the alternates at the courthouse.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
What, you wanna do them all at once?
Yeah, you
Do them
go.
one at a time or all at once?
One inch, second.
Yeah, do both of them.
I mean, I thought the whole list at one time.
Well, I was gonna do that, but you got employees you're adding to the county clerk. I didn't think you want to put that.
Yeah,
When
I
you're
gotta
with
make
your
an
money.
adjustment at that.
Okay, no worries.
I was thinking ahead there, Mayor.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on
1 and 2.
1 and 2 under
A,
A.
1 and 2.
Who was the second?
Cause I,
Waller did it. Okay, since there's money involved, call the roll, Tammy.
Quillen. Aye. Satterfield.
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Cullen.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Shaver.
Yep.
Waller.
aye.
Randolph.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
You know, basically anybody that's in the county.
Okay, the third item or letter C is a consideration.
What about B, the Petaway grant?
I thought you did, oh, I'm sorry.
We
You
did
just
1 and 2
1
under A.
That's I apologize. That's
Okay.
my
Yeah, I jumped to the bottom too myself.
So letter B is consideration of recommendation for application approval and grant acceptance of the 2025 Petway grant.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver to approve, seconded by Commissioner Satterfield for the Petway grant. Money involved, call the roll.
Satterfield.
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Cullen.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Shaver.
Yep.
Waller.
Aye.
Randolph.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Quillen.
Aye.
Okay, that carries. C.
Okay, letter C. Letter C is consideration of recommendation for 2 additional full-time and 1 additional part-time employees at the county clerk's office. This is to help train for the Lenore City office. At the workshop, I explained that it would be an additional $23,000 coming out of fund balance. However, that was a miscalculation. It's a little more than $34,000 for the current year, just so that everybody's aware of the increase.
Make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver to approve the 2 additional full-time and 1 part-time employee at the county clerk's office, seconded by Commissioner Satterfield.
I have a question that does not have to be answered now, but I would like an update from Riley on what your timeline is to get it open. But not now, let's
Let's
vote.
do the
We can do it
vote.
at the end, yeah.
Should we start lining up in the morning?
Hang on, we got a motion and a second on the floor. There's money involved, call the roll, Tammy.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Cullen.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Shaver.
Yep.
Waller.
Aye.
Randolph.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Quillen.
Aye.
Satterfield.
Yes.
Riley, you wanna give them an update?
Yeah, so we're actually meeting with purchasing, purchasing, IT, later this week and maintenance to go over some things that we have. Obviously, we've got issues such as cameras, internet, what we have to do with that. BIS is supposed to be with me next week, when he's running through town. We'll actually look at for computers and so forth, anything that we need to do for, because it's gonna be a VPN, type network that we have, which is the way Knox County does. We have 1 server, which was imperative that we get that improved, for this next step when we open that office. Timeline right now, I'll be honest, until all the pieces start coming together, I don't wanna tell you, but it'll be in 24.
Thank you.
Wait, what was that last part?
Should be in 24.
2024.
Oh, I'm thinking, we can narrow it down way more from that.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Can't go back in time. It's 2024 now.
I'm talking about like in the next month. In 2024 is from now to the end of December, that's a long.
Those old bank tellers,
How long did it take to close the deal, Rosemary?
How long did it take?
How-
30 days.
No.
Oh.
How long did you work with them?
Oh, with them?
Yeah, November?
Oh, sorry.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Once we're in their contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was a nightmare getting there. Rosemary, Commissioner Quillen worked tirelessly to get through this one, and it was a humdinger. We had a
Yeah.
death in the middle of it, we had all kinds of stuff, but she got it done.
Well, thank you.
Let's just get it open now. Tammy,
D,
Riley.
We're working on it. You wanna come train employees with us?
Sure, I
Okay,
can
come on.
train.
Aaron D.
Letter D is consideration of recommendation to approve ARPA resolutions. The first one is from District 1. It's $21,000 for to be sent to Loudon City on behalf of the Loudon City Fire Department to build a firebox. Sorry,
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Oh, baby
Sorry,
bubble.
sorry, I was thinking, sorry guys, sorry, a baby box, not a firebox, a baby box. Sorry, my mind went somewhere else. Number 2, we can move on. Number 2 is $55,399, and this is for a portion of the alternates at the courthouse.
Both of these will have to have two readings, won't they? No?
No,
Second one.
that's for nonprofits and.
Oh, it just
city
goes to
organizations.
nonprofits, okay.
Not for us.
Not necessarily, no.
I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
1 and 2?
Sure.
1 and 2. Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner James to approve D1 and 2 for the baby box and for the additional funds for the courthouse, seconded by Commissioner Randolph. There's money involved. Call the roll, Tammy.
Cullen,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen. Aye. Satterfield,
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Okay. E.
All right, letter E is consideration of recommendation to approve line adjustments and/or amendments in the following funds.
I'm going to go ahead and make a motion on E to approve 1 through 8. Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Whitfield to approve 1 through 8.
Erin's been here all night waiting for her part, and you cut her off right there.
I'm just trying to say
If you
the word.
really want me to tell you all of these.
No,
things-
we've heard it. We've already heard it.
Yeah.
All right. Got the motion by Commissioner Whitfield, seconded by Commissioner Waller to approve 1 through 8. There's money involved. Any further discussion? Tammy, call the roll.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen. Aye. Satterfield.
Yes.
Whitfield,
Yes.
Cullen.
Yes. Okay.
All right, letter F and letter G are reports that were included in the packet that Ms. Faulkner sent out to everybody.
So noted.
That's all, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Waller, bonds and notaries.
Motion to approve all names listed under 11A.
Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Waller to approve the bonds and notaries, seconded by Commissioner Shaver. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, while we've got Chief Martin here and Mr. James, I saw Mr. Disney leave. We're kind of under a same sort of a scenario here with ARPA money on the new building for the rescue squad. Can you give us any kind of update on that?
Please.
Something? Have you heard anything? I mean, we've got to do this same thing by the end of the year with them, or an local agreement or something. Where you going?
I'm done.
We're not done.
I'm done. Y'all have a good night.
So I'll
Hang
tell
on.
you what I know about the situation. Chief Hart met with some contractors Thursday or Friday of last week. Don't hold me to those dates, but they are preparing plans to present to you all, and this ball should be moving forward here shortly.
Great.
I talked to
Well, I've
Chief
been
a few
told,
days
so.
before he was gonna meet with contractors.
Okay.
I mean, you know, we've been to kind of this point in the past. You're part of the squad, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's why I asked you kind of at this point, so
So
yeah, let's,
I've tried to push the ball forward as much as I can.
push that ball all you can.
Start kicking it.
So supposedly, we have a contractor in place, we're just waiting on the numbers.
We got the money ready.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Well,
Mr.
you
Chairman,
heard-
one other thing. We got a couple of young men sitting in the back, man, stand up. These are members of our new, just formed Loudon County Young Republicans, is that correct? Tell them who you are and why you care, real briefly.
Yeah, I'm Lance McNabb. I'm the chairman of the Young Republicans of Loudon County. I think it's time that we need to get involved in everything and kind of not demand a seat at the table, but support those who support us and just be involved.
All right.
My name is Garrett Norris. Got involved with Elijah here kind of when he first started. Backed him a lot in getting young people out and involved. Of course, I'm very good friends with Commissioner Shaver, so me and him talked about getting the youth out and voting and getting more involved in politics. So.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Somebody's gotta take us old people's place.
I have an announcement.
Oh,
On March the 16th, Greenback's having a pancake breakfast to support the vets.
Lost vets.
It's a $5 ticket, and I guess it's all you can eat, I don't know, but if you're interested, March 16th, pancake breakfast in Greenback, the money goes towards supporting the vets.
Is that Willie Franklin's group?
Yeah.
He ain't got no time on his flyers, though, we gotta figure out time.
No, the update I got tonight said, yeah, we're doing it in a date, but didn't have a time, so.
What about a location?
The community center.
Community center.
Real quick, and I'll be 5 or 10 minutes, I'm just kidding. Person director, procurement director, Klein Smith, Everhake, Version D, has got a contract in hand for the final phase of our historic courthouse. So as soon as he gets it signed and sent out, I'll send it out to everybody, and let everybody know.
we'll be in there by the end of 26.
We're somewhere in the sum of a little bit over $4 million, so.
On the final phase?
We're at about 7 now.
So, anyway.
That's good.
I'll take it, absolutely.
It'll be done before the new clerk's office is done.
The new what?
The new clerk's office.
And the fire pit, it'll be done before the courthouse is.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn, seconded by Commissioner Waller. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Somebody shut this thing off.
That switch. Yeah, go to switch first.
Where you been, Cheryl?
I've been watching online.
Isn't it a lot easier to get out and come down here?
Oh, it's way more fun.
You can't get the real feel and zest of it.
It is.
It's still on.
It ain't gonna show up.